but he asked me if I could, and I go, listen, give it to me. You know, I got it in the other room. I'll give it to me. Let me read it. And it wasn't a script. It was his jokes, you know, like a set list and whatever. And he sent like a half a resume, what clubs he played at, you know, the Stand and Stand Up New York, just shit like that, you know. So I said, you know, give me a couple days and, yeah, I'll reach out to him, you know, and talk to him a little bit. I mean, I like her a lot. I like my neighbor a lot. They're great people, fucking smart as whips. And I gave him a call, and it was a great little conversation, man. It got my dick hard, you know, because this guy has been out there. He has been going for it, and he's struggling with the when. When do I call clubs? When is it okay to send a tape? When is it? And I'm like, listen, man, what's your situation? You got to tell me your situation. Do you have a great day job? He's a salesman. He sells something like a service. He makes great money. And after the pandemic, they work from home. So he's like, this is my opportunity. I could do this from anywhere. I just don't even know who to call and stuff like that. And I told him, I go, right now the clubs are in, you know, clubs want to deal with people who are hot. You have to stop. You have to start with D rooms, C rooms, a couple B rooms, and work yourself up. And eventually you'll get a feature spot on an improv, then you'll get another feature spot, another improv. Then by mistake, this guy will hire you to MC at an improv, and next thing you know, you're in the chain. It's not going to happen overnight, you know, but here's some ideas. He goes, well, I listened to you when you were on the church years ago, and you gave us some ideas about bookers. And I'm like, you know, right now at my point in my life, I don't know who's booking. But I go, look up David Tribble. That guy, David Tribble, should deserve a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Honest to God. The more I think about David Tribble, I have not worked for David Tribble in close to 20 fucking years. Over 20 years. It's got to be, because last time I worked for Tribble had to be 97. We did comedy in a fucking tent in Arizona. It was 200 degrees outside and 180 in that. Thought, well, the tent will be cooler, yeah, because you put two fans in there. It had to be 170 degrees in that tent. I went down there with this comedian I knew from Seattle. He was the headliner. I was the fucking MC. We had to drive 6 hours and then do 2 shows in a fucking tent and then get back in the car and drive all fucking night. We didn't get home till like 5 in the morning, and I got like $200 in cash. It was a fucking glorious night. Get the fuck out of here. But it's funny. Before the pandemic, I could look at you guys and tell you one thing about my stand-up comedy. I can't tell you if I was funny. I can't tell you that the material was great. But I will tell you something that was really weird. The last 2 years before the pandemic ended, I was out there every other weekend or every weekend, and I was out 4 or 5 nights a week when I stayed home. I was starting to notice something. I was starting to notice things I was doing on stage and going, where did I get that from? Where did I learn that? Where did I fucking get this from? Where did I learn how to pause? Anyway, throughout the last 2 years, every weekend, David Tribble would come to my mind, those Tribble runs. Those Tribble runs, when you're doing them in the beginning, you feel like fucking Guns N' Roses. I can't describe the feeling to you. After 10, 15 years, you look at it as, fuck, a Tribble run. I'm going to be doing a lot of driving, and hopefully by that time, your career has moved on. But the best foundation for me, there were 3 people. There were, David Tribble was number 1. There was a guy in Texas that I fucking went to war with, T.R. Campbell or something like that. That guy had, you know, a week-long run. And this is what you want at that level. When you're doing comedy and you're stuck at a 5-year point, you're really an MC, you could really feature if you had the material and the push. But Right now, you're just getting a week here, a week there, a week here. If I attribute anything to my comedy aggressiveness, it was what I learned on those Tribble runs, because it's every day. So you get in your car on a Sunday, you get to your destination Monday morning, and you start doing comedy on Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, you get up and drive, and another show. Thursday, you get up and drive, another show. Joey, that doesn't sound like fun. It's work if you really want to do it. If you're really serious about being a fucking comedian, not an improv troupe, not a podcast, I'm talking about really being a fucking comic. Like, Joey, I want to be a fucking comic. This is it. There's no girlfriends. There's no road manager. There's nobody carrying your luggage. There's no room service in these hotels. There's the smell of fucking curry. Okay, you ever go to check into a hotel and smell fucking curry in the gym, in the jacuzzi, in your bed? That's what the fucking smell of, okay? You know, I had Wild Bill Bauer. I had this kid, Bill Bauer, God bless his soul. Wild Bill Bauer was the comedian. There was a kid, Bill Bauer, out of Colorado Springs. Was he Colorado Springs? No, Greeley. And we were dear friends. I reached out to him maybe 3 years ago and thanked him for everything he did for me, because this guy would pay me my rent, and I would have to work off the rent every month with gigs, you know. You have so many of those people that come into your life and your journey, but the fast track to that journey, I'm telling you right now, guys, is those fucking Tribble runs. It is an experience. It's like I always say to people, I don't know if I could do it with Mercy. I don't even know if I'll be fucking alive. But I've heard other parents say this. I wish for my best results as a comic or as a human being, I would love to hold my daughter back from school for a year. Her first college year, that freshman year in college, I wish I had the nerve, and I wish I could hold her back from that and make her become a salesman. I don't care what it is. Fucking lingerie, makeup, cars, encyclopedias. I don't give a fuck. Bras, Victoria's Secret. I think the biggest education for her would be a year. Anybody. This is my opinion. I think it would be to sell, to learn how to interact with the public, to learn how to deal with issues, to learn how to hustle, to learn how to fucking go, wow, it's the 28th of the month, and I get a check on the 5th. I got 3 days to sell a fucking picture of Bruce Lee. How am I going to sell it to pay rent? And guess what? Like the man says, you know, you always, what's that fucking expression, Rolling Stones? You can't always get what you want, but guess what, motherfucker? You get what you need.